Well, we start tonight off with the big story developing from the weekend. The impeachment trial of Ken Paxton ended with the Texas Attorney General acquitted on all charges of corruption and abuse of office. AG Paxton returned to work today, but they aren't closing the books on his legal troubles just yet. He is still expected to go to trial next year in a long-running securities fraud case. Joining us to talk about it here on The Factor tonight, Texas State Representative Ron Reynolds and political analyst Angela Box. So, Angela, I'm sure you were celebrating this weekend that the AG was acquitted on the in the impeachment.
Yeah, I think we learned a few very interesting things over the course of this trial. Number one, the issues that national MAGA types, liberty-driven people face with never Trump Republicans and Democrats are very similar to what liberty-minded people in Texas face. We have TLR, Texas for Law Reform, big open borders group. The Bush family was behind a lot of the lawyers for these whistleblowers that came forward. And the whistleblowers, what was amazing to watch, and Tony Buzby's summation was genius. And I urge even my good friend Ron to watch his summation, because you know we live in a civil society and we need to have rules and etiquette and rule of law. Anyway, Tony Buzby said that what we learned is that these whistleblowers went to the FBI. The FBI doesn't like Ken Paxton because he likes Trump. With no evidence whatsoever. It was a bunch of he said, she said, and boiler room this, and someone had an affair that. Absolutely no evidence of any wrongdoing, and so this was the right outcome. And and now look for Ken Paxton to take his revenge tour, because it is richly deserved.
Now, State Representative Ron Reynolds, we saw House Republicans come and say we need to impeach this guy, but the Senate said no. Your thoughts on this?
Well, first of all, Isaiah, I'm going to keep it real. I think the Senate was bought and paid for. The presiding officer was Dan Patrick, the lieutenant governor that was supposed to preside as the judge and be impartial. He received $3 million in campaign cash right before the trial from Paxton, pro-Paxton people that were giving him campaign cash. The fix was in from the beginning. You have the Speaker of the House and a majority of the Republicans in the House overwhelmingly vote to impeach him. And throughout the trial, we heard sufficient evidence from whistleblowers, from former Texas Rangers, and a whole mountain of people that testified to the corruption and abuse of power. He weaponized his office to benefit a wealthy campaign donor, Nate Paul, a real estate developer who is currently under federal indictment from the FBI, who is awaiting trial. So there was so much evidence that the hypocrisy of the Republicans to acquit him simply because they wanted to appease their MAGA base and their wealthy MAGA donors. That's what it boiled down to. It's a shame. Many Republicans in the House are infuriated. There's a cultural war between the House and the Senate right now.
And that was my question to you. How do you justify Republicans in the House saying he is guilty, we should get rid of him, and senators in Republican senators in the Senate saying we don't find a problem?
Let me tell you what happened. I'm just going to keep it real. They don't give a damn. The hypocrisy was on full display. The lieutenant governor called them. It's all coming out, Isaiah, called to put pressure on the senators that if they don't vote to acquit him, they will be stripped of their committees and their power.
And so people would ask, do you have any proof of that?
Well, it's all coming out. It's all coming out. I'm just going to keep it real. It's all coming out.
We can keep it real.
Even the speaker has come out forcefully saying that the fix was in. The Speaker of the House and other Republicans. So you have a Republican civil war.
Let's hear from Angela.
Yeah, it is a Republican civil war. Dade Phelan, the Speaker of the House, is a snake. There is no way Dade Phelan would ever get elected because he is by conservatives. So he has to play to people like Ron to get elected and Democrats to get elected. He doesn't like Ken Paxton because Ken Paxton is going to help secure the border, help our election integrity get shored up in Texas, which rhinos and open border types and Democrats do not want. And if there was any evidence that would have been presented, there was zero evidence. This was a court. This was a trial. The other side had a chance to put on evidence. They did not. They had hearsay witnesses. They had whistleblowers, lawyers paid for by the Bush family. And I think Tony Busby rightfully said the era of Bush politics in Texas is over. And that's what people need to understand. And the two Republicans that voted to convict Ken Paxton, I would look at their donations very carefully. My guess is that there's a lot of open borders types flooding
and
their
what about the
donors.
lieutenant, really quick, the lieutenant governor's donations? He got $3 million.
$3 million.
Listen, I can't speak to that specifically, but I will say this about Dan Patrick.
Make it quick.
Dan Patrick, to me, is a little more milk toast. I think that we've got a. I think we've got a power struggle with Abbott and
Isaiah,
Paxton.
really quickly,
Wrap us up. We have
Donald
20
Trump
seconds.
put his fingers on the scale as well. He threatened these senators with primary opponents if they voted to convict him.
Oh, wow.
And so Donald Trump and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick are the biggest hypocrites. They put their thumbs on the scale so that there was no fair and impartial justice. The fix was in, and we see the results of it right now.
Except no evidence was given to convict this man.
All right. We want to thank you both for joining us. If I say Hunter Biden, what would you say?
Oh, please keep me for that. Please keep me for that.
There's no that tonight.